Evaluation pupils' achievement in social studies. So, one of the confusing factors in the field of assessment is that professionals often use the same terms to mean different things. It might be helpful then to define some important terms and see how they relate to each other. The term assessment and evaluation are often used interchangeably, but they do not always mean the same thing. For many assessments in the process of collecting data on student performance that is then used to evaluate, make judgments about the attainment or certain expectations, objectives, or outcomes because we speak of judgments. It can only be objective in that assessments provide us with a quantity and quality of information sufficient to make judgments that are fair to the strengths and needs of all learners. Precise in that students and others gain clear insights into how they are learning and what they can do to improve performance. And true in that our verdicts are valid, consistent, and accurate. So it is important to remember that all assessments and evaluations are limited in that they do not tell us everything there is to know about the learning of particular individuals of groups. Assessment and evaluation are continuous activities in the classroom, and they can be both informal and formal. Informal assessment occurs when a teacher collects information to use for purposes of shaping and ongoing instruction. At the end of a segment of a lesson, for example, the teacher might orally ask a random sample of students around the room to respond questions about what was just taught.
There is no specific time and events in our topic, which is evaluation pupils' achievements in social studies. But I will just share to you what is the state of assessments and evaluation in social studies today. This is from A Question of Balance by John Myers. Since public education began in Canada 150 years ago, assessment has identified and ranked students using tests, essays, and quizzes. This limited role for assessment has broadened over the past 20 years for a number of reasons. First, the goal of education in general and social studies in particular have greatly expanded as we attempt to help our children acquire the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors required for living in the 21st century. A social studies educator, Joseph Perman argues, social studies is not about the accumulation of selected facts for later recall but should aim to produce a responsible person able to cope with change, capable of making reasonable decisions, who is an intelligent consumer and controller of science and technology, able to live with and appreciate human diversity, and support and defend human dignity. Such a person should be able to settle differences honorably, avoid the use of violence, be cognizant of and active in the stewardship of our planet, have the skills necessary to maintain a functional economic system and democratic government. This expanded view of the purposes of social studies education is reflected across the curriculum and requires a much more sophisticated approach to assessment and evaluation. One factor that driving assessment and evaluation reform comes from the widespread view that traditional ways of reporting student achievements, the evaluation side of things, are not telling us what we really need to know. It is not enough to want student to learn and to express our best intention by setting course, unit, and lesson objectives. These objectives need to be achieved. We need result, clear evidence students submit the outcomes for them. Many provincial ministries or departments of education are responding to this concern by trying to determine standards of achievements in various subject areas, including social studies, to help make grading more accurate.
evaluation of pupils' achievement in social studies. So first, let us know what is the definition of evaluation. So evaluation refers to the process of judging the quality of student learning on the basis of established performance standards and assigning a value to represent that quality. Evaluation is based on assessment of students' achievement at strategic times throughout the grade or course, often at the end of a period of learning. Evaluation of pupils' achievement in social studies plays an innermost role in the teaching-learning process. It helps teachers and learners to improve teaching and learning. Evaluation is a continuous process and a periodic exercise. It helps in forming the values of judgment, educational status, or achievement of student. Evaluation in one form or the other is inevitable in teaching learning, as in all fields of activity of education, judgments need to be made. Numerous techniques should be utilized by the teacher to evaluate pupil achievement in the area of elementary school social studies. No one technique is perfect. So, when using variety of techniques to evaluate pupil achievement, comparisons may be made among the results in making social studies curriculum decisions for each pupil. So one evaluation technique can be used as a check against results from other evaluation techniques. Then two, evaluation techniques may differ from each other in use as to what is being evaluated. So there are 6 principles of evaluation. First is second is a continuing instruction. Third is a cooperative process. Fourth, made in terms of the purpose of the program. Fifth, made in variety of situations. Sixth, done with a variety of devices and procedures. So there are commonly used tools in evaluating pupils' achievement. First is paper and pencil test or objective assessment, which are multiple choice items, completion type, and matching items. So it is easy to construct and score. In essay texts that call for explanations or illustrations of principles take more time to check but are good means of assessing the kind of learning or changes in behavior that has taken place. Second is analyzing work products or product assessment. It involves a meticulous examination of work results such as collections, accomplished records of data, projects submitted, assignment notebooks, scrapbooks with clippings, photographs, and new special reports written for a particular topic. Third is oral assessment, participation in class discussions like interviews, oral reports. So, fourth is formal and informal observations. So, about student attitude and behavior. So, it is an effective assessment like remarks, checklist, diaries, case studies, comments, attitude skills, scrapbook, interview, inquiries, questionnaires, and fifth, performance-based assessment. So, proficiency in performing some classroom-related activities like conducting investigations, gather data through surveys and interviews or etc. And lastly is the portfolio assessment. So it is a method of collecting and assessing a variety of student work, like work portfolio consists of the students' outstanding works. Scrapbook types includes test, checklist, observations, and rating scales choosing both student and teacher. And last is the evaluation portfolio. It is a collection of work that can indicate learning such as examination booklets, written reports, and about journals.
Here are the 5 examples based on the topic. First, teacher observation. Teacher observation is one of the assessment techniques recommended in a position and guidelines on assessment and reporting for years 1 to 10 of the Queensland School Curriculum Council. For the implementation of council syllabuses, assessment is seen as involving a variety of school-based techniques for profiling students' demonstrations of learning outcomes. Teacher observation, that is, observation of a student by a teacher, is one of those techniques. It can be used in conjunction with other techniques. Second is parent-teacher conferences, usually happen to once or twice a year. There are brief meetings lasting about 10 to 30 minutes. Most schools set aside specific dates and times for conferences, but if they conflict with your schedule, try to find another time that works. If you can't make it into school, ask your child's teacher if you can schedule a phone conference instead. If necessary, divorced parents can ask a teacher to schedule separate conferences. The third one is conferencing with pupils. Conferencing with pupils has many benefits, but for me, the most important is the one-on-one time with students. The fourth one is the checklist. Usually offer a yes or no format in relation to student demonstration of specific criteria. This is similar to a light switch. The light is either on or off. They may be used to record observations of an individual, a group, or a whole class. So the last one is rating scales. Rating scales allow teachers to indicate the degree or frequency of the behaviors, skills, and strategies displayed by the learner. To continue the light switch analogy, a rating scale is like a dimmer switch that provides for a range of performance levels. Rating scales state the criteria and provide 3 or 4 response selections to describe the quality or frequency of submit work.
Good day everyone. So I am Princess Kimberly P. Magallanes from BE Ed 3B. So this is the topic that I've chosen, advantages and disadvantages of evaluating pupils' achievement in social studies. Many people have criticized standardized testing, claiming that it is unfair to pupils, while opponents have a long list of reasons why testing should be stopped. Schools and educators around the country continue to support testing. In essence, there are benefits and drawbacks to standardized tests. Standardized testing, for starters, give an objects and trustworthy evaluation of a student's aptitude and achievements. The finding of these tests have gone through such a rigorous norming process that they are statistically reliable and valid. Furthermore, many schools have become more accountable as a result of this type of monitoring, which requires them to set rigorous but attainable goals for a long-term students' performance. As a result, many schools have seen large and long-term improvements in students' achievement. These examinations are quite inclusive due to their standardized structure. Today, more students with disabilities than ever before take standardized examinations, promoting inclusive practice for children for all abilities. Thank you.
So here are the 10 keywords. First is evaluation. Evaluation is a broader term than the measurement. It is more comprehensive than the mere inclusive than the term measurement. It goes ahead of measurement, which simply indicates the numerical value. It gives the value judgment to the numerical value. It includes both tangible and intangible qualities. So next is assessment. Assessment is the process of gathering and discussing information from multiple and diverse sources in order to develop a deep understanding of what students know, understand, and can do with their knowledge. As a result of their educational experiences, the process culminates. The assessment results are used to improve subsequent learning. So third is pupils. Pupils is a person, usually young, who is learning under the close supervision of a teacher at school, a private tutor, or the like student. Fourth is achievement. Achievement is a thing done successfully with effort, skill, or courage. Fifth is inevitable. Inevitable comes from the Latin word inevitabilis, which means unavoidable. Sixth is techniques. Techniques is a method of doing some task or performing something, also referred to someone's skillfully with the fundamentals of a particular task. 7. Integral. Integral or relating to or belonging as a part of the whole. 8 is social studies. Social studies is a course of instruction in an elementary or secondary school comprising such subjects as history, geography, civics, etc. Next is curriculum. Curriculum refers to the lessons and academic content taught in a school or in a specific course or program. So the last one is principles. Principle is a general belief that you have about the way you should behave, which influences your behavior.